Hello to everyone. Welcome to today's Ignite Showcases. I'm Madeline and I'm your host today. I'm a former colleague of some of the co-founders of IGNITX, and I'm very happy and feel honored to host today's episode presenting Anaelle. I'm tuning in from sunny Munich and I get some sunshine on my head. Before I introduce myself, I would like to give you a quick introduction into IGNITX. For all of you who are tuning in for the first time and have never heard about IGNITX before. IGNITX is an international team of passionate Olympic Games experts who are providing specialized consultancy services for multi-sport events. Most of the co-founders have been involved in the sports event industry since almost 10 years. The international team of IGNITX has been founded early this year, but the first ideas and talks about it have already been held in 2016. But this year was just right, the timing was perfect. So the core team of the 4 co-founders came together and created a big network with over 70 international freelancers. They are called Igniters, and they are so rich in experience, and on top of all, they share the same values and are always seeking to deliver with excellence and passion. To introduce and promote their services, the team developed the Ignite Showcases and Conversation series. The main objective of this series is to introduce and showcase event professionals within the IGNITX network to the general public. But not only to inspire others to consider a career in events, but also to provide more details on what actually happens behind the scenes of an event and how a life of an event professional looks like. So whenever you have a question today, feel free to add it to our chat function. And don't forget to note down where you're from and maybe also your background. Our goal for today is to have a fruitful discussion, and you're more than welcome to be part of it. Before we start now, I would like to take the chance of introducing myself. I'm Madeline, and when I started to study sports and event management back in 2009, many people asked me what I will do afterwards, because back then it was still quite a new field of study. Most often I answered just with one question, with one sentence. I want to be part of Olympic Games. And people looked at me as if I was crazy, but actually it didn't bother me because somehow I believed in it. And in my 4th semester of my bachelor's degree, I had to do an internship. And as a happy accident, I came across the Innsbruck 2012 Youth Olympic Games. So that was my chance. And I called the organizing committee and asked for available positions. But the answer I got was, sorry, we don't have any free internship positions anymore. And in this second, I remembered what I had said to all the people who asked me why the hell I'm studying something like sports and event management. So instead of accepting the answer, I asked if there is really no free position, because I'm really interested and highly motivated. And they told me, okay, we will see what we can do, but please send your application today. Okay, said and done. The application, or writing the application, was no problem at all, as I was so passionate about it. And in the end, I really did get the chance to do my internship for the Innsbruck 2012 organizing committee. And that's where I met the co-founders, Neo, Ilva, and Ming, and Anaelle, who will be our guest today. The internship was such a great experience, and it fulfilled a big wish for me. On the one hand, I knew that it wasn't going to be my last games, because I really liked the whole atmosphere, and it was just great to be part of such a big event and see young people, young athletes performing their best they can. But on the other hand, I also knew that living a games life by moving every few years is nothing that personally attracts me. So in 2012, between my bachelor's and master's program, I continued my Olympic Games experience as a volunteer in London for the German delegation. And being located at the Olympic Village was just amazing. And I still remember some inspirational talks with athletes all over the world. After my master's studies in 2014, I went to Austria to work for the European Youth Olympic Festival as a sports and culture coordinator, where I met Neo and Ilva again. And even though the 9 months were a great time, after the festival, I knew deep down that my Olympic life was over, as I was looking to settle. And by then, a different way of life started. As I had always been fascinated by sports psychology and how a well-trained mindset affects an athlete's performance, I took a training to become a certified sports psychology consultant. I started coaching individual athletes part-time while moving to Munich and working for a big marketing and brand experience agency. In the beginning of this year, I quit my job and I founded my own company. And I'm very happy to say that I'm now a self-employed sports psychology consultant. And I mainly work with young athletes who do have ambitious goals, but also doubts about themselves, which distract them, showing their best performance and also in believing in their own dreams. Therefore, the focus of my coaching sessions is on building a strong self-esteem by discovering their own strengths. And to support my vision of decreasing self-doubts and fear of failure in young ages, I recently launched an online course where young athletes are guided through several modules with the intention to create their own map on how to reach their individual goals. And I guess you agree when I say that self-doubts is nothing young athletes should have deal with. So this is the very reason for my vision and why I'm doing this. Right now, the online course is only available in German, but who knows what the future might bring. But now it's enough said about me and time to start the showcase. And I'm super delighted to invite Anaelle to the chat. I know Anaelle since almost 10 years when we were colleagues at the organizing committee of the Innsbruck 2012 Youth Olympic Games. She worked in events and ceremony department and was responsible for all flower and medal ceremonies during games time. I remember Anna as a really hardworking person who was always in a good mood, no matter how less sleep she got. And Anna was always living the attitude of anything is possible and there is always a solution. And I'm quite sure that these qualities have taken her to where she stands today. Her CV is actually too long to mention every experience she made in event management, but let's summarize it quickly. Anaelle has worked in the international scene of multi-sport events for the past 10 years. She started her career after completing a master's degree in Australia and was offered in 2011 a position as Victory Ceremonies Manager for the first edition of the Winter Youth Olympic Games Innsbruck 2012. That extraordinary experience led her to work in a variety of other organizing committees from then on, such as London 2012 Olympic and Paralympic Games, Lausanne 2020 Youth Olympic Games, FIS Beating Skiing and FIS Nordic Skiing World Championships, UEFA Men and Women's Euro. Wow, it's just amazing. And lately she was mainly involved for the last 4 years with Red Bull on the Red Bull Crushed Ice as athletes manager and assistant to sports director in the winter, while working on various productions with Eurosport, such as Tour de France during the summer. And now it's definitely time to welcome her. Hello to France. Hello, Anna. How are you doing?
Hello, everyone. Hi.
Nice to see
I
you.
hope you can hear me well.
Very well.
Very nice to see you. Thank you for welcoming me and having me as a host today. It's great.
Anna, your CV
Hello,
is...
everyone from all the continents.
Anna, your CV is just stunning. So let's find a little bit more about you and your life as an event professional. Where are you right now and which project are you working on?
So right now I'm in France, in the south of France, in the little town of Sète. That's right near Montpellier, by the coast. So it's really nice and sunny. Actually, yeah, nearly 30 degrees today. So it's nice to enjoy summer. And at the moment, probably like many of you, the activities have been quite stopped by the current situation worldwide. So taking it nice and easy for the summer.
So it's a different situation when you look back to all the summers before, right? Where you were busy and running around. Do you like it?
Exactly. That's not too bad. I kind of enjoyed the rest. It was really nice to be able to rest a little bit and see some family and just focus on something else than just like, for instance, actually doing sport and not organizing it for others for a while, for a change. So it was really nice.
Nice.
This situation cannot go on forever, though.
Yeah, but still, you have to enjoy it as it comes and take it as it comes. I guess it's a good attitude. So how would you say the pandemic affected your professional life as an event manager?
So, as you mentioned, in the last years, I've been mostly involved with Red Bull Ice Cross World Championships, which, if you're not familiar with it, it's a winter sport. The closest I can think of would be skiing border cross or ski cross, except the only difference is it's on ice with skates. But it's the same. We have jumps, obstacles, and full speed with 4 athletes at a time. So this is mostly happening in the winter. And well, when the quarantine has been announced, we were just coming back from 3 different stops. It's a worldwide tour, so we had a stop in Finland and then one in Japan, Yokohama, and finally we had one in Le Massif in beautiful Canada. And I flew back from Canada straight to Paris because I had to do my visa for Russia because the season finale was going to be in Moscow. And I was really looking forward to it. But COVID-19 had other plans. And we eventually had to cancel a smaller race first that was meant to be happening in Italy and the season finale in Moscow. So these 2 events couldn't happen, but well, obviously none of the athletes would have been able to fly there aside from the Russians. So it was really tricky to go on. So it's a bit of a shame, but I'm really grateful that we had the opportunity to do the first races because some of the other sports had to cancel their entire season. So,
like the Euro, for example, as well.
Yeah, or postpone, like Tokyo.
Okay, we got a quite international audience. Greetings from Malaysia, greetings from Lausanne, greetings from Glasgow. I'm greeting from Munich. You're greeting from France. So who else is here? leave us some comments. But yeah, let's go back to where it all started. And I personally still remember the day when you were asked whether you wanted to take over the victory ceremonies or the torch relay for Innsbruck 2012. And there was
a great
big,
day.
Yeah, still hear it. There was a big scream coming out of your office of excitement because your dream of being responsible for victory ceremonies came true. And what would you say? How did this decision affect your desire to continue your career in event management?
Yeah, I mean, this day was just amazing. I never hoped to be working in something as great as, you know, the way you provide or you stage the most important moment for an Olympic athlete that just won or came second or third of their sport, the greatest achievement that they can have. So it really didn't take me that long to choose victory ceremonies. I think I'm one of these person that never cry in front of a sad movie, but I could have goosebumps and definitely tear up a little bit when watching an Olympic medalist winning gold. So
getting goosebumps.
It really didn't take that long. And so that was amazing, being responsible with all those tasks, 9 different venues and 150 volunteers. It was just amazing, taking care of gold medals, and it was the mascots for the Youth Olympics, but then for London, like the bouquet, so many tricks and stories I could tell you about it, and really working with very nice people. So motivated, passionate, and feeling like you're in a team and everyone's moving towards the same goal. That's a really, really nice feeling, and that just keeps you going through how tired you are, how stressed, and the amount of tasks that you still need to fulfill till the next day. So I'm really grateful for the opportunity.
So would you say fulfilling a dream in Innsbruck was one of the most reasons you continued your career in event management?
I never really planned it. Like, I didn't know I could I didn't expect to reach such an international well-known event from my very first job. So I didn't plan what happened next. It just happened naturally. Innsbruck 2012 led me to working in London 2012, which was another wow, and very honored to go on the big game with the big guys. So it just kept on happening naturally, and having opportunities coming up with, I'd say, a little bit, it's not luck, I'd say it's more be at the good time, at the good moment, at the right place, talking to the right person, and be there, be motivated. Just, it's a dream come true. So you really want to show your best, and I think that's what kept me going. Nice. For more.
Nice, and there was more to come, and still is. So you all started with, you started with victory and medal ceremonies, but you continued in many different other fields as well. So many event professionals specialized in one area, and but you, on the contrary, have been involved in at least 5, like victory ceremonies, broadcasting, logistics, volunteer management, sport services and relations, and whatever. So I guess you could go on and on. Do you see it as a chance for yourself?
I can never get enough.
Do you see it as a chance to be a quite diversified event professional?
Yeah, I think as I said, I didn't plan on working on the different areas. It just sort of happened this way, and I was given an opportunity at the moment that was totally different from the previous one. And it's just a matter of, can I take on this challenge? Do I want to try it? It's okay if in the end that's not what you're going to be doing, but at least I try. And I think you got to stay open to the different opportunities that are given to you. And I love learning new things. I love new challenges. So it really, I don't think it's only a strength that I can see the different departments, different way that an event is organized in the background. And that also leads me to having a better understanding of the other positions I had. And if I'm back to doing it again, then I can take into consideration more the other departments, because I know their needs as well.
So you broadened your perspective by working in different departments and knowing what other people are doing. Because what often happens is that Department A doesn't know what Department B is working on, but still they rely on each other. And so it's not a community.
Exactly. Nice. So I think it's important as well.
But is there any area you are more attached to, which is your favorite, which you like more than others?
So, of course, I love working with athletes and making sure they're here to just perform their best and don't have anything else to think about. That's something that's, I think, it's in me. I love it. But whether it's for an athlete, or I've been working also with journalists, TV producers, what else? International federations, or just volunteers. In the end, I'm just making sure they are here to perform the best, not only in the race if it's an athlete, but in their role as an event professional or as a volunteer. It's not because there are volunteers that they cannot enjoy it. And I think if you give them the right tools or the right environment, then they just perform even better and make the event a real success. So, yeah.
Nice attitude. So we also got some greetings from Estonia, from Tallinn, from Norway. And David says, "You're amazing." So it's a compliment for you.
You're amazing too, David. Been working with him on the Tour de France for Eurosport, so very grateful also for that.
Some fans around here, nice. So in how many countries did you live and work the last years? Can you still
count? To count. So there's countries where I lived in or stayed at least for a few months, and there's country I visited just for a week for one event. I think, I've lived in probably 8 or 9, and then probably worked in like 15. Would have been actually 16, 17 if COVID didn't happen. With Russia, I still need to visit Russia. And this year we nearly went to Kazakhstan, which is, come on, who goes to Kazakhstan for work? Like that's one of the things I like most about being an event professional. It brings you places that you never dreamt of going to. Kazakhstan didn't happen. It wasn't due to COVID, but anyway, just really grateful for having traveled in so many different countries. I love languages. I love sharing with people from the country, looking into how they live their culture, and it's all really interesting to me. So I think this job is also the perfect tool for me for this aspect.
And when did you realize that the event lifestyle is a life you want to live and you want to continue? Was there any specific moment where you said, yes, I'm all in?
There was a few. There was a lot of moments. I always wanted to work in sports. I've been doing sports all my childhood, different sports, volleyball, tennis, but mostly winter sports. I was, although I wasn't living in the mountain, I was really far away from the mountain, but my parents would get me skiing from an early age, and I did a few competitions, not anything high level, but I really had the thrill for it, and I knew sports, and then realizing I liked languages, I felt this was just the perfect combo, and so I got myself to just get the tools to be able to work in that field that I liked, that most people were telling me, hey, don't study sports management. What is that? It's a bit like you. Like, this was not really famous at the time. And
no, it was quite new.
And everyone was, they're like, so what, you want to sell sports good?
Mm-hmm.
No, not really.
It's like when studying tourism management, it's like you're not only working in a travel agency.
What is that? That's my job. So I went to Australia. I wanted to perfect my English, and then I pursued this with doing a CELTA certificate, which is a Cambridge certification to teach English to learners of foreign languages. So I'm also able to teach now. And I felt at the time I needed to just not be not considered for a position because my English wasn't good enough. So I just did everything I could to prevent this question from even just being raised. And I think that's how it all started, being able to communicate. And this ability was just opening doors and speaking a really good, I'm not saying I'm speaking a really good English, but good enough English to work in any country I needed.
And it's not only English you are speaking, right? So what languages?
Most of the time, there's a few other ones that I'm mastering at different levels. And sometimes I don't even remember my French, but I really like it. So I never get enough of the languages.
And is there anything you miss when traveling around the world and traveling from one country to another?
Missing, well, of course,
you're looking forward when you come
back home. It depends. It really depends. I'm sure you felt it after Innsbruck or after London, after those big events that you've worked so hard on. There's this kind of spleen that I think a lot of event professionals can relate to, because suddenly it's all gone. It's all stopped. And yes, you can rest, but you feel really alone for a while. But it's okay. There's something else coming after. And it's really nice also to take some time at home and do something else for a while.
I remember Neo telling me before the Innsbruck Games started, and afterwards we would all have post-games depressions. And I was like, what the hell is she talking about?
No,
And
that was no lie. She knows what she's talking about.
the closing ceremony was over. Everybody was leaving the village. There was only waste around me, and I'm sitting there on my desk all by myself, crying. So how often
maybe
did
you
it...
should think about it for your company. Don't only follow athletes, but also the event professionals. They need your support.
So do you still feel something like post-games depression, or are you over it already because
Definitely.
you need something else?
Definitely. When I knew the race were cancelled, I was so sad. And then, well, I know there's going to be another one. And yeah, it goes away after a while, but it's sad.
But it's
I'm
probably
really happy because then Go ahead.
No, just keep going. You're my guest.
Yeah, no, just then you remember everything that happened, and yes, you were exhausted, but the event happened. It went well most of the time. There's probably no occurrences where I can think of an event going or not happening or going really badly. So it's just happening, and it's fantastic, and I can only recommend it to everyone.
Yes, definitely. And you just said it's mostly going well. So event management and managing an event is not only fun. It's, there are up and downs, and there are joy and tears, and it's like a roller coaster, kind of. So
Definitely.
What was your lowest moment in your career?
The lowest moment. As you say, there's a lot of ups and downs. Just as in life, there's ups and downs, and in the event as an event professional, you also feel ups and downs. There's moments of doubts, questioning. It's not necessarily that an event went wrong, but it could be that although this is your dream job, well, something is off with the team you're in, or something you can't really explain, but you're not really vibrating the same way as the others are, and that makes you question whether you're at the right place and whether you should pursue. Sometimes you're so tired and stressed that you also want to give up, but don't give up. Mm-hmm. It's worth it. And most of those times where I was really low, there was always either someone or something that was keeping me going. And a few times it was the volunteers. The volunteers, they're great people. Mm-hmm. I really like them. They're here, they give their time, and they give themselves. They're here and they cheer you up. Mm-hmm. And you don't want to give up because they're here and they count on you. Mm-hmm. And I think this is one of the great things about events, that you get to meet those people that make you keep going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a good motivation because volunteers mm-hmm. are people who are traveling from far away sometimes, who are spending money, who are taking holiday days to work on an event.
They're taking so much of their time mm-hmm. to be there because they're passionate about it. I remember one time, it was on the Euro in Paris. We had a group of volunteers. There were, so I was working on logistics for the International Broadcast Center, and the volunteers they've assigned to our team were great, but they were not exactly what we expected, because for logistics, we had a lot of, we had to manage the fleet of vehicles. So they had to drive, and a lot of them were they didn't have a driving license, for instance. So that's the first problem. And then we also had in logistics a lot of things to carry. We were doing all the uniforms for the staff, and a lot of them were like 70 years old, 80 years old, and couldn't carry anything. So it was a bit frustrating at first, but, you know, they were just here, happy to be here and just willing to help. So just building this relation with them, making them feel like they are useful, and just, even if it's just to be here smiling and giving us like the courage we need to continue. So yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Thank you, volunteers.
Okay, but coming back to post-games depression, because Neo is having a question. Anna, how do you overcome that feeling? What helps you to recover?
Keep busy. Keep busy. Yeah, you might be feeling low for a while, but keep busy. Try to see some new things. For me, it was getting this teaching certificate, and it was a really intensive course. So once I had it, I was like, well, what do I do now? Do I get back to the event? Or now that I have the certificate, should I use it? Or and I did. I volunteered to be a volunteer English teacher in Chile. I found this program from the Chilean government, and they were flying in foreign, mostly native speakers, to Chile, to the different cities of Chile, and to teach high school students English. And at the time, I didn't speak any Spanish. And yeah, I mean, I love traveling. South America was something that was really appealing to me, and I wanted to learn Spanish. And that had the double function of me learning Spanish and getting experience as a teacher. So yeah, it was really fun, and I learned a lot on myself, and I don't regret it at all. I'm super happy that I went for it, and I could come back to the event world after. So it was I learned new skills there that I probably wouldn't have learned if I didn't do it. So I just encourage you, when you're feeling low, and when maybe if you have periods where you feel like you're not finding any job, it's okay to do something else. And maybe that's where you grow as well. So I just encourage you to do what you think is good for you at this certain point in time. And if you do it with passion, motivation, then nothing can go really wrong. And if it does, then you learn from it. So go for it.
That's an excellent advice, and that's what I also trying to teach my athletes as often as possible, that there are no really downs, because it's always like up and down. And the more you do, the more you can learn, and the more you fall, the more you can learn as well. Because of standing up, it's always
exactly
a learning factor. So yeah, it brings
just there.
Yeah.
They're going, put yourself out there, you'll be fine.
Never give up. That's what Winston Churchill already said. Never, never, never.
Wise man.
So, looking back to your career in the event industry, you already mentioned some advices you could or you would young people give who are thinking of starting a career in the event industry as well. Is there any specific point or advice you would like to highlight to make it quite concrete and say, if you want to start a career in event management, I advise you to?
Yeah, there are plenty of stuff you can do. First of all, I think you should know it if you're passionate about sports. This is something that you have in you, and if you want to make a living out of it, I guess you need to get yourself a toolbox just, at least for me, that's what worked. Because I may seem like I'm confident, but it's not necessarily the case. I would put it this way, that I'm making sure that I'm prepared and that I create this toolbox for myself to be prepared and to achieve what I try to achieve. And this makes me feel less stressed about the future. Or so for me, it all came down to languages. If you want to work for international events, you need to at least speak English, and a few other languages would help, but it's not necessarily compulsory. But it does help because it just makes you more adaptable to different events. But that's only if you want to travel. If you want to stay in your country, I guess English and your own language is good enough. And it all depends on the scale you want to work on. So toolbox, languages, and be prepared to be adaptable, and to face different environments. I've worked on so many different events. Some are multi-sport events, but all happening at different venues at the same time. Some are a tour, like the Red Bull Ice Cross Tour, where we're going from city to city. Some are only based on one sport, like the French Open or the Tour de France. Most of the time, it's really intense. So don't count your hours. Do not expect to having a 9-to-5 job. That is not happening. Or maybe it is and you're lucky. But yeah, I mean, there's a deadline for an event, so you need to do what you need to do for it to be ready on time. Yeah, so just get this toolbox working so that you're more confident and approach people, volunteer. I've came to different areas just not by luck, but because I was volunteering for one event and I happened to meet someone that was working there and that needed help. And that's basically what brought me to broadcasting now. So really, it's okay, even if you have 10 years experience, to when you don't have a job coming up, just volunteer, do something different. You'll meet people, stay open, be flexible, and show that you're motivated.
Mm-hmm. Never to be good of any job you do, and yeah. Nice.
Yeah. No, so there's a lot you can do. Be active. Show you're out there. Show you want it. Show you're motivated.
Nice tips.
And this can only do you good. Mm-hmm. At least it works for me.
Yeah, and of course, it's always individual, but learning from an expert who has gone this way already is always, well, those tips are so powerful, and you can't read them in a book, or you don't get them within a event management lecture. It's much more than what you learn at university.
On the field, yeah, for sure. It's one of those areas where you cannot learn in the books.
No. No professor is telling it, because mostly he hasn't been on an event by himself. So that's why we have you,
well, yeah.
telling young professionals how to prepare.
That's also what's so great about IGNITX. It's bringing all those people together that are so passionate and can share their experience. And I think this is a fantastic tool. Another one. Yeah, but thank you, Neo. Thank you,
Close to our
for coming up with this project.
Definitely. So we talked quite broad and wide about your life as an event professional, but let's make it a little bit concreter, or more concrete. What do you do as an athletes manager in Red Bull Crushed Ice?
So the Red Bull it used to be called Crushed Ice. Now it's called Red Bull Ice Crush. It went a little bit through a brand change, but terminology. I'm involved in the sport department. It's a great small team of 3. Myself, Chris Papillon, awesome sports director from Quebec, and Oliver Debbie, who's our coordinator, and he's mostly on site, while Chris and I are working on making sure the sport is happening and in the correct way at all the different venues. So we're the international team, and then we talk to the host country who have their own small organizing committee, and we give them guidance on how to come up and produce the event. And Chris, as a sport director, he used to be an athlete for the sport of ice cross, and he knows really well the sport. He's dealing with all the rules and all the technical aspects of it, because I don't know nothing about skating. A bit more now, but still, I'm more of a skier than a skater, definitely. And for my position, I'm doing all the liaison for the athletes, informing them, because there's no real, it's not like at the Olympics or at a world championship of a already well-established federation where we have tons of people working, such as the National Olympic Committees, the international federations, and the local organizing committee with the NOC services. They all talk to each other and prepare everything for the athletes. The athletes don't have to do anything. For us, the sport is still quite new. It already exists for about 20 years, but the International Federation, the ATSX, Alter and Skate Cross Federation, was created in 2015. And also it's a really unique sport because it has a reverse development. It came out big from the beginning, being pulled on the screens by Red Bull Media House on Red Bull TV. So it had a really big impact from the very start. And now we're trying to build the ground for the sport. There's no clubs, all the national associations. It all needs to be developed, and this takes a while. So we're working on that on the side before the events. I'm liaising with the athletes. If Maddie, if you want to come and try out because you feel like skating down a track with obstacles, eventually you'll come and send an email on the website, and I'm going to be receiving that email and guide you through the different steps on how to get started. Okay. And while on site for an event, we arrive about a week before the event, which is generally happening on the Friday and Saturday. So we arrive on Sunday, Monday, and we prepare everything for athletes registration, making sure they have people who can get their blade sharpened, everything they need for the sport, liaising with the local team. And I'm also liaising to arrange all the interviews for the top athletes. So there's different local and international media on site, and I need to make sure the athletes do their race on time, eat, and still do the interview they need to do. So, and during the race, I'm at the finish line, and I get all the emotions from them when they did great. They're super happy. yeah, so making sure they're getting back up on time and
So it
kicking
really
their ass
doesn't sound like a 9-to-5 job.
It's not.
And as I'm watching the time now, I would say we are in overtime already, but with event professionals, it's quite normal, so we don't watch the time. But one last question, and I guess we can combine it with the one which just came in. So we were talking about your experiences in your past and what you have done already, and I guess we could continue for 2 more hours at least. So, but let's take a look into the future. Anna's life in 20 years. How will it look like? What has changed? What is still the same? And the question we got is, hi Anna, are you planning to settle down? If you do, which country would you choose to settle down? So maybe we can combine 2 questions in one answer.
That's a toughie.
Anna's future in 20 years.
Anna in 20 years, I'm not too sure, but if you want some, if you know someone that has the answer, please give him my number. I would love to know. No, I hope I'll be still working on a super exciting project that makes me want to wake up in the morning and be happy when I go to bed at night. So definitely wanting to pursue in this sense. And I cannot tell you where I'll be in 20 years, but maybe in 40 or 50, I'll be this old volunteer that cannot carry anything, but just happy to be here. So this could be it.
And every organizing committee can be very happy to have an old Anna coming in and supporting them. I'm sure.
And which country? There's a long list of countries I still need to visit. A few where I need to go back. A lot where I would love to leave. And in the end, I think France is not too bad as a country either. There's a lot of things, nice things in this country as well. So I'll tell you in 20 years.
Okay,
where will you be?
I guess either still in Munich or in Sweden. I don't know yet. But let's talk in 20 years again. 2040, and we will take a look back. Neo, can you schedule it already, please? Send us an invitation. Okay.
For sure.
First of all, merci for providing us so many insights and personal details as well.
Thank you so much.
It's not only about your professional life, also about your private life as an event professional. And I guess it's not too much when I say you are a true igniter with passion and enthusiasm, as everyone can wish for, to have such an expert on board. And I guess many people who are considering a career in event management, you are definitely an inspiration for them. And I'm looking forward to follow your next experience, to see where you're going and what has happened in 20 years by now, 2040.
Thank you so much, Mari. And whenever I feel low, I'll call you because you're full of good tips.
But they're all inside.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's all inside you already, so I only try to figure it out and give you some inspiration.
That's a deal as well.
Okay, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
We are coming to the end of today's session, and I would like to say goodbye to you already. Thank you so much for your interest and for your questions. I guess they are quite inspirational, and Anna gave very good answers to it. If not, there are many ways to contact Anna personally and to get to know more about her experiences and learnings from being an event professional. And if you want to learn more about IGNITX and their services, feel free to visit ignitx.events. And it's time to wish you all a great summer and stay tuned on the social media sites for the next episode, which is coming up soon. So stay healthy and see you soon.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.